This news update is brought to you by...
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connected to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today Evening News Update for Wednesday, October 28th. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary-Claire Williams. We begin with news this evening that the family of missing St. Philip resident Marcelle Smith has given up all hope of finding her alive. Their position follows the discovery of a decomposing body believed to be Smith's over the weekend. Police have detained one suspect so far, but they are yet to charge the alleged perpetrator for the robbery and killing of the victim, whose body was eventually disposed of in a grassy ravine at Halton Plantation on the border of St. Philip. In a statement issued today, Smith's children, her daughter Tanya and her two sons, Alan and Roger, acknowledged that all hope is gone. They described the treatment of their mother as a cruel and horrible act, saying they miss her terribly. The statement also said they are in shock at what they are now faced with and are grieving their mother. Smith is the wife of retired Lord's School principal Aurelia Smith and the sister-in-law of retired jurist Sir Frederick Smith. Her relatives describe her as a vibrant woman who loved to play bridge and had a lot of friends in Barbados and around the world. In other news, President of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Tracey Shuffler, says the planned buyout of Banks Holdings Limited should not come as a surprise. There have been several concerns raised in local circles since news broke that the Latin American company Ambev, which currently owns 40.7% stake in BHL, was seeking to acquire the additional shares. But Shuffler says the bid is one of the realities of business today.
The era of shareholdings being fully Barbadian is passing quickly as the necessity for expansion into higher growth markets and rigorous brand development become normative. Both export development, brand building, and capacity expansion require significant additional investment for most companies, and I believe that as Caribbean people, we need to come to a realization that any combination of regional ownership is still considered indigenous. Facilitating trade as a nation is part of what has to happen, and the other greater leap is facilitating trade at a regional level, which sometime soon will include most of Latin America.
And a correction now to a story ran in the morning news. We informed you that the Environment Minister, Dr. Dennis Lowe, denied opposition claims that another energy deal was in the works with another Canadian outfit. But while not denying that government had plans of entering the agreement, Dr. Lowe said the rumors that they are doing so without first consulting the Barbados Light and Power Company are not true. Here's what Dr. Lowe said in Parliament yesterday.
I heard over the weekend in a spate of utterances. Let me say utterances. That the government of Barbados are engaging another Canadian company, and that there has been no conversation with the Barbados Light and Power. That is a lie. We have had sit-down conversations with the Barbados Light and Power on any project that we're doing that refers to energy. We've sat down with them. They've come to the ministry and met with us. We've met with them at the headquarters of the Light and Power, and we have had discussions. They are on the same page, and any issues that they raise, we have been discussing with our colleagues in the Ministry of Energy, and we've been able to work across the table to come up with a workable plan. So it is not true.
Prime Minister Freundel Stuart is recommending that Barbados and other regional states enter into meaningful partnerships with the international community to help cushion the impact of climate change. Stuart was addressing the inauguration of the Barbados-based Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency this morning. He contends that even though the region is rich in renewable energy sources, it does not have the money to exploit them for the benefit of its people. Stuart says Caribbean states, which would be among countries most heavily impacted by climate change, must therefore be on the vanguard of efforts to lessen the effects.
As a region, we must seek not only to eliminate the linked challenges of tackling climate change, promoting clean energy, and achieving sustainable development, but also we must do so through the forging of essential partnerships and synergies. These are the messages that will be taken to COP21 in France in December this year by CARICOM countries, within the context of the global SID effort to ensure that the sustainable development of our islands remains a leading issue in international fora and on the multilateral negotiating agenda.
European Union delegate to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Marcelle Smith, cautioned that any financial aid would depend on the existence of transparency in the operations of the new regional institution. Barford also said there was a need for the structure of the center to be lean and focused on implementation in order to avoid becoming a burden on taxpayers in another 5 years. The new center will legally come into being in January and is aimed at providing technical assistance to member states in their efforts at developing renewable energy projects. The drug squad today seized over 1,000 cannabis plants growing within cane fields in several areas in St. George. Police say the drug squad, with help from the Tactical Response Unit, discovered 1,164 plants. They found 523 on Stepney Plantation, 160 on Buckley Plantation, 69 at Constant, 198 on Jordan's, and 214 at Applewaite's Plantation.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, one representative of sugar workers in Guyana is criticizing suggestions to privatize the industry. We get more from this report from Capital News.
GAU President Komal Chan is not supporting the privatization of the sugar industry. That is one of several recommendations coming out of the just concluded Commission of Inquiry. Over the years, sugar has been on the decline, with the previous government spending billions to maintain the struggling industry. Chan, who is also an executive member of the opposition PPP, said the new board expertise and management can keep the wheels of the industry turning. Alim Singh represented GAU on the Commission of Inquiry, and GAU also made presentations during those hearings. Chan said a lot of the work to fix the problems in the sugar industry has to do with management.
So there are many avenues that you could bring in money now without any investment. But we have to put the management well, and there have to be strict adherence to accountability and procedures, and we could move forward. As we have make a big move forward in this second crop. We need to continue, do the things right.
The Commission has also recommended that none of the estates around the country close.
Internationally, Turkey is preparing to vote on Sunday after inconclusive parliamentary elections in June. Voters point to a series of challenges facing the country, including increasing attacks from the Islamic State, violence with Kurdish militants, and the financial burden of Syrian refugees. There is also the issue of press freedom, although the government says journalism is one of the freest in the world. More in this BBC report.
Turkey is gearing up for another crucial parliamentary elections, and press freedom remains to be a major concern. Here are the offices of the pro-Kurdish Dicle News Agency. This building was raided by the police last month, and over 30 journalists were detained. In another incident, one of this agency's cameramen was threatened by the police. Holding a gun to his head, he was shouting, "When I say stop filming, stop filming." But it's not only Kurdish journalists who say they're coming under increasing pressure. Last month, one of Turkey's most widely read newspapers was attacked by a pro-government mob. Later, one of their columnists was severely beaten. His nose and ribs were broken. The government also tried to stop journalists from reporting on certain issues, like the recent Ankara bombings, the deadliest ever attack on Turkish soil. International news organizations say these are all alarming moves to silence media in Turkey. The government, though, says journalism here is one of the freest in the world.
And that's the news. There's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I am Marcelle Williams. Good evening.